It's your boy Sam back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and ranking our top shooting guards in NBA 2K24 MyTEAM that aren't behind gambling. So, any of these shooting guards that you guys see that are behind gambling, such as T-Mac, such as MJ, Glenn Rice, obviously you could get, but Scottie Pippen, any of those guys aren't behind the tier list. I saw somebody tweet out the other day. It was funny. I think DBG said something like, drop a take in my team that's unpopular or something like that. And then some guy replied, YouTubers actually aren't trying to take a stand behind gambling. They actually are just mad that they can't get specific cards. Now I want you to know this. Look, if I wanted to, man, I could get just as many cards for as much as I paid in the past. You got to realize, for Yao Ming, after I bought MT a couple of years ago when he was like 2 million MT, that still was like $50. Like, people are making up anything. It's just sad to me that they're not accessible. If that's what you want to say, sure, that I have to gamble for the cards, then yes, I am, not doing gameplays because of that. But if I had to spend, let's say, $100 every week on a set, I'd buy them. Like, that's just the way it is. Allen Houston up first. For Allen Houston, I actually like this card when it comes down to shooting guards. I think I'm going to go A tier. Now, does he have necessarily the hype that some of the other shooting guards have in my team? No. But Allen Houston still is really good. And if he's your shooting guard, it's just fine. For me and Allen Houston, it all starts with his great release. His release, one of the best that I've used all year long as far as easiness to green. Like, there are people, I think, with better overall releases. His is one of the easiest easiest to green. Also does have the Pro 2 leaner, 6'6" frame, plays decent enough defense. Obviously, defense isn't the best thing about him, but he plays enough defense that it's not like he's a liability or anything on the court. Allen Houston, really solid. If you did, I think it was what? Triple threat online. Grind for Allen Houston, you got a really good shooting guard. Andre Iguodala, I got him on my level 37 option pack for the Pro Pass. Obviously, you can get him from the wheel spin as well. I got Boogie Cousins from my wheel spin. But Andre Iguodala, in my opinion, is an S-tier shooting guard in my team. One of my favorites, maybe the best shooting guard not behind gambling right now outside of that top guy. Obviously, Ron Artest, I think, is just a better version of Iggy. But right now, the only way to get Mr. Ron Artest is by gambling, which is just so sad. Andrew Wiggins, I'm going to go A tier with Andrew Wiggins, but I think he's close to S tier, okay? And so, a lot of people aren't really that high on Andrew Wiggins, and when I'm running him, they're still like, Andrew Wiggins, really, Ty? I'm telling y'all, Andrew Wiggins can still play and compete at a really high level. To me, he's on the verge of being S tier. He is that good in my team. Brandon Ingram, I'm going C tier. I really don't like the card at all. It was really disappointing in real life to see him sitting on the bench. Like, all of his teammates were standing up down the stretch. He was sitting. Like, I mean, that shows a lot about somebody, in my opinion. Like, I get you're disappointed you're not in the game, whether it's because of your minutes restriction or whatever else. But it's like, at some stage, like, you've got to support your teammates to try to get in the playoffs. It just showed me a lot about a guy when you're sitting on the bench when your team is in the middle of trying to come back and secure that playoff spot. Next up here, we got Brandon Miller. I don't know about Brandon Miller. Look, I don't have the card, and if you have Brandon Miller, you probably like him because he's 6'9", and obviously has a decent release. I just don't know if I'm playing against Brandon Miller, right? If I'm that worried about Brandon Miller compared to some other guys. Maybe that's weird of me to say, but I think A tier is the right spot for Brandon Miller. And again, if you have Brandon Miller and you think I'm wrong, you can let me know that down below in the comments. It's just tough because I don't have the card. Cassie Russell, F tier. You are absolutely horrible. Cliff Hagan, D tier. Absolutely horrible. Elgin Baylor, I am going to put him in B tier. I actually think Elgin Baylor is somewhat overlooked. I don't know. I don't think his dribble sticks are necessarily great, but his release is solid. Like, I've got Elgin Baylor. His release is solid. He's just not necessarily, like, the best or most flashy card. Danny Green, I'm going to go C tier with Danny Green. He can play a little bit in my team. Franz Wagner, B tier, but on the verge of being A tier. To me, Franz Wagner is just so good because he's 6'10". If he wasn't 6'10", I wouldn't be nearly as hyped about the card, but 6'10" allows him to just do a lot of things on the court. Obviously, he has a good release. TyDeBo dribble style can just be that man. Gerald Wallace up next. I think I've got to go S tier with Gerald Wallace because here's my opinion on things. Gerald Wallace, I don't even know how you get Gerald Wallace. I think he was on the Ascension. So at this stage, is there any really way to get Gerald Wallace? No. And they did put like, they took all of the Opal rewards off of boards as well. So like the Wilt Chamberlains, David Robinsons that were on boards, they took them off as well. Hopefully, and this is just my hope, because obviously right now there's NBA playoff packs on there. Hopefully they continue to update them like every week. That's obviously my hope, obviously my goal. We'll see if they do, but Gerald Wallace is fantastic. Glenn Rice honestly deserves to be in a tier of his own. And that's just my honest opinion of Glenn Rice. The card is so good in my team. I'm going to start streaming my team Unlimited basically every single day until I get Glenn Rice, because his release is so good. Defensively, he's off the charts good. He's 6'8", just does so many things at such a high level. Is he a skillful card? Yes. You can't be bad at the game and use Glenn Rice and think you're going to have success, because you're just not. But if you are good at the game, there's no better option than Mr. Glenn Rice. Gordon Hayward, I mean, I guess D tier, you got decent height, but you're not good. And I hope you guys understand that, like, he's not good. Just because I put somebody at D tier means they're better than Cassie Russell, because talk about a disappointment. Cassie Russell is exactly that. But doesn't mean like I'm super high on the card or that, you know, I would recommend running them just because they're not at F tier. Grant Hill, I don't really know. I'm going to go A tier. But I don't really know with Grant Hill. You know, he is a collector reward. I somewhat respect that. But it's like, with Grant Hill's release, I think it's hard for me to sit up here and in front of you guys say that he's, you know, great or good. I mean, I think he is A tier though still, just because I got, look at my B tier. LJ Baylor and Franz Wagner. I think Grant Hill is better than those guys. Guess I'll go A tier, but I'm not the highest on him. Harold Miner, I'm moving these cards down. D tier, I do not like Harold Miner. J.R. Smith, I guess I'll go C tier. He is an Opal, so at some stage I gotta somewhat respect him. But I do not love Harold Miner in my team. Okay, I mean, I do have to somewhat respect him because he is a Galaxy Opal and he can do some things. He's undersized, or he's a pink diamond, I guess I should say. But he's just undersized. I meant J.R. Smith's a Galaxy Opal, so I somewhat gotta respect him. Jaylen Brown, pink diamond. I do believe he was your daily login reward, what, last week? At this stage, though, D tier. I mean, I feel like Pink Diamond JB maybe had his time. To me, though, here's what I see with Jaylen Brown. Card that's good defensively, but he has a slowish release, and he's just not great at this stage of my team. Jerry Stackhouse, D tier, not great. John Havlicek is great. I'm going to go A tier with Hondo in my team. If you did grind salary cap last week, Hondo is or last season, you got a very good John Havlicek. This season, Dikembe Mutombo. He should be really good as well. So, I'm trying to give you guys like a heads up to grind salary cap because I think Dikembe Mutombo is going to be fantastic. J Wash, C tier. He's fine. Josh Hart kind of stinks. F tier. Dr. J, at this stage, I'm still going B tier. I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree with me on that, and I'm okay with it. But I just want you guys to know, Dr. J can still compete at a really high level. Kawhi, same thing. Like, the Claw, I think, is better at small forward, but still can go out there and compete at a really, really high level. Chris Middleton, I don't love you at this stage. C tier, like I still think everybody at B tier I'm taking over Chris Middleton. Maybe I'm too down on Chris Middleton, but I've never been able to figure out his fade. Klay Thompson up next, A tier. Every time I play against Klay Thompson, I struggle. And it might just be a me problem, but I'm just being vulnerable and honest with you. I don't know. When will I be able to guard Klay? I don't know. They were able to guard Klay last night. The Kings were. Maybe I need to figure out their scouting report. Pink Diamond Kobe, I'm putting it A tier. I don't think Kobe is quite what he used to be, but the card is still really good. Like, I kind of regret ever replacing Kobe in my lineup because he is still really, really, really good to this day. Manu Ginobili at this stage, C tier. And I do have a lot of Galaxy Opals at C tier, but I'm okay with it because all of those Galaxy Opals at this stage, I just don't think are great anymore. They were fine for their time. They still can play, but I think C tier is the right spot. Michael Cooper, I think C tier is right for him. Like Michael Cooper or Chris Middleton. I think that's a fair debate to be had. And I think you guys are going to call me crazy and all this stuff. Because when Michael Cooper, or when Chris Middleton first came out, I hyped the card up. But again, my opinions change over time. And for Chris Middleton, they've changed about as much as anybody else. Michael Finley, F tier. OG Anunoby, call me crazy, B tier. To me, he's like a slightly, basically a Kawhi. I mean, do I still think Kawhi is going to be better defensively? Yes. Now, why? I just think Kawhi always is going to be, just because he's Kawhi Leonard. 2K does something, whether it's his defensive stance, whether it's his animations, for Kawhi Leonard to just be that next level good. Kawhi is so good in my team, but I think OG is at similar level. Paul George, I'm telling y'all right now, I want to put Paul George at A tier. I want to put him at A tier. And you know what I'm going to do? I know a lot of people aren't going to like me for it. I'm going to put him in A tier. I don't care. For me, it's cards that I personally have success with. I have about as much success with Paul George as anybody else in the entire game at the shooting guard position. That's just my pure honest take. He is A tier to me. Ray Allen, I mean C tier. I honestly, I got the card for you know, doing the pro pass. But here's the ultimate deal with Ray Allen. 2K basically gives people that buy the pro pass, once you get to what, level 31, Ray Allen. Why do they give people Ray Allen? Because they know Ray Allen's not great in my team. You think they're going to give out a great shooting guard for free in the pro pass when they're giving out 2 more Galaxy Opals? Not going to happen. Ray Allen, the definition of mid. Rip Hamilton, D tier. The card is really bad. Like, I mean, I can't say as bad as the cards at F tier, but Richard Hamilton is definitely not great in my team. Richard Jefferson up next. Now, RJ's not totally worthless because he's still going to play defense, still going to do some things for you on the court. But I mean, I think he's C tier. Like, that release is just not great in my team. And I know people are going to be mad that I have all these Opals at C tier. But where would you have them? That's what I'd ask. B tier, max? RJ, not great. Scottie Pippen, better than these guys. Scottie Pippen to me is B tier. And again, I have one pink diamond at A tier, and that is Paul George, because he's my favorite pink diamond. The rest of these cards at B tier, though, still can play, still can compete at a really high level. Sean Elliott, I don't know, D tier, never used the card. T-Ross, C tier. Another Opal that I have used that I have not had a lot of success with. Maybe I'm just bad at the game. I tweeted out yesterday, I lost 3 times in a row in my team Unlimited, but I did not have success with Terrence Ross when I used the card, and I've actually used him. These cards look like they are, I don't even know. Is this actually the card art of the cards? Let me see. Is this the actual card art? What in the world? Why did they come in 1080? I don't even know, man. Can barely see the cards, and that's okay. Because with Rolando Blackman and Gerald Green, you got 2 absolute scrubs. Like, these cards stink. I'm putting both of them at D tier. They are not great in my team. Honestly, here's what I want to do with this list. I'm going to move some cards down, move these 2 down, and leave Glenn Rice at the only S tier. Because the gap between Glenn Rice and all these cards is bigger than the gap between A tier and B tier. I mean, that's just my honest truth. So, I mean, this is where I'm going to leave. I'm going to move Grant Hill down. And I think this is where I want to leave the tier list today. And I'm okay with it. That's going to wrap it up for our video today. Let me know your thoughts on my shooting guard tier list down below in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. And as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.